lot of us can relate to, waving goodbye to those stubborn love handles.
Oh, those love handles.
Those pockets of fluff that just seem to hang on no matter what.
For dear life.
We're going beyond just basic exercise tips. We're going to be looking at the latest research on fasting, muscle retention, not just what to do, but like the why behind it all.
It's like getting the cheat codes to your body.
Exactly.
And we have a lot to unpack today. We're going to be going over research studies. We have a fitness article, all to give us the full picture.
Okay, so let's jump right in. I think a lot of us worry about losing muscle when we try fasting, right? Like it's this fear that all our hard work will just vanish.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Short-term or even intermittent fasting, it doesn't automatically lead to muscle loss. There was a 2016 study in Translational Research that found that people who did intermittent fasting lost more body fat while maintaining their muscle compared to people who were just restricting calories.
Really? So you're saying that fasting could actually be better for maintaining muscle. How does that even work?
The science behind it is fascinating. When you fast, your body shifts into this fat-burning mode called ketosis.
Okay.
And instead of using glucose from carbs, your body starts using your stored fat as fuel.
So you're running on those love handles.
Exactly.
But hold on, doesn't your body also start burning muscle for energy?
So here's where it gets interesting. Fasting triggers hormonal changes in your body. You get a boost in growth hormone, which helps preserve muscle mass.
Oh.
Plus, norepinephrine increases, which also promotes fat breakdown.
So it's not just about cutting calories. It's about, like, strategically using fasting to change your body's fuel source.
Exactly.
Okay. But wait, what about protein? We always hear about how important protein is.
You hit the nail on the head. Protein is super important, especially when fasting. It provides the building blocks to repair and grow muscle. Aim for about 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein for every pound of body weight.
Okay, so you're burning fat for fuel, but you also need to feed those muscles with protein to keep them strong and even build them.
Exactly. And to take it to the next level, we need to incorporate some resistance training.
Yeah.
When you lift weights, it signals to your body that it needs those muscles.
Okay.
So it prioritizes keeping them even when you're fasting.
So it's this combination of fasting, protein, and exercise. This is not just starving yourself and crossing your fingers.
Precisely. It's about working with your body, not against it. Now, we know spot reduction is a myth, but are there exercises that are especially good for strengthening and toning the obliques?
You read my mind. Our fitness article actually highlights 7 exercises that can really target those love handle areas.
Each one works the obliques from a different angle, which is important for that core strength and definition.
Okay, let's walk through them. First up, we have Russian twists. Why are those so effective?
So it's that twisting motion.
Okay.
It directly works those side muscles,
Right.
helps sculpt and define them. It's kind of like wringing out a towel, You're really working those obliques.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Next, we have bicycle crunches, my personal favorite.
Those are great. It's like a 2-for-1 deal because you're getting the core work and the cardio.
Yeah.
And that elevated heart rate helps burn fat.
Awesome. And then, of course, mountain climbers, those get your heart rate up for sure.
Oh, absolutely, mountain climbers.
Yeah.
They're like a full-body blast. They burn calories, they strengthen your core, and they work those obliques.
Wow.
Don't underestimate them.
Okay, we also have side planks with hip dips, standing side crunches, and kettlebell side bends. It's pretty amazing how they all target those muscles in different ways.
Yeah, and that variety is key. But, before we move on, I'm curious about HIIT.
Yeah.
High-intensity interval training.
Oh, yeah. HIIT.
Yeah. How does that play into all of this?
It's a great question. I was just thinking about that. It seems like something that would be really helpful with this whole process.
So HIIT, right. Short bursts of intense exercise with quick recovery periods
Okay.
can be incredibly effective for fat burning overall.
So like sprints, burpees, things like that.
Exactly. And you know what? It's not just about the calories you burn during the workout.
Yeah.
HIIT actually keeps your metabolism revved up for hours afterwards.
Oh, wow.
So you continue burning calories even after you've finished exercising.
That's awesome. But going back to the muscle quotient, how does all this exercise, especially when combined with fasting, actually affect our muscles? I mean, are we sacrificing muscle to burn fat?
It's the question, right?
Yeah.
Luckily, there's some great research out there that sheds light on that. A 2019 study in the Journal of Translational Medicine found that people who combined intermittent fasting with sufficient protein and strength training retained 90% of their muscle mass over 12 weeks.
90%. That's amazing. So it really is possible to maintain and even build muscle while fasting.
Yes, and the key is timing.
Hmm.
If you're fasting, try to schedule your workouts during your eating window. This gives your body the fuel it needs to perform well and recover properly.
So you're basically giving your muscles the tools they need to thrive.
Precisely.
Okay, this is making sense now. But I feel like there's got to be more to it, right? It can't just be about hitting the gym and skipping meals.
You're right. You're right. There are other factors that are really important in this.
Okay, like what are we missing?
Well, hydration, for starters.
Okay, I'll admit that's one area I could probably improve on.
Think about it. Water is involved in pretty much every bodily function.
That's true.
It transports nutrients, flushes out waste, even regulates your body temperature.
Wow. So it's not just about quenching your thirst, it's really about keeping your body running smoothly.
Exactly. And it's even more important when you're exercising and fasting.
Right.
Proper hydration keeps your muscles working their best, helps your metabolism, can even make you feel fuller so you're less likely to have cravings.
So it's like the secret weapon of a successful fitness journey. I'm starting to realize that this is not just about what you do, but about how you take care of yourself throughout the entire process.
It really is about building a sustainable lifestyle,
Yeah.
not just following strict rules.
Yeah.
Speaking of sustainability, another critical factor,
Hmm.
consistency. You've probably heard this before, but there's a reason everyone says it.
Hmm. Yeah, consistency is key. But sometimes it feels so overwhelming. Like you have to be perfect all the time.
Yeah, but consistency doesn't have to mean perfection.
Okay. I like that. So how do we strike that balance?
It's like brushing your teeth. You don't have to brush perfectly every single time, but doing it regularly is what matters most.
I like that analogy. So it's okay to have an off day, miss a workout, as long as you get back on track.
Absolutely. Don't let those small setbacks derail you. Focus on building healthy habits and just making them part of your life.
That makes sense. Takes the pressure off. But how do we actually track our progress? Should we be focused on the number on the scale?
Well, the scale can be useful, but it doesn't always tell the whole story.
Yeah, especially if you're building muscle.
Exactly. Muscle weighs more than fat. So you could be losing inches, toning up, even if the scale isn't moving as fast as you like.
Right.
So a measuring tape can be a more helpful tool.
Okay.
Focus on changes in your body composition, how your clothes fit.
So it's about those non-scale victories, how your clothes fit, how you feel.
Precisely. Notice the positive changes, celebrate that progress, both physically and mentally.
This has been so insightful already. Wow. We've talked about the science behind fasting, exercises for those love handles, the importance of hydration, consistency.
And we're just getting started.
I can't wait. But before we move on to the next part of our deep dive, I want to address something I think a lot of listeners might be wondering. We've talked about these 7 exercises, but what if someone's just starting out and they're a beginner? Those moves can seem really intense.
You're right. Those exercises can be quite challenging. But don't worry, we've got modifications for every fitness level.
Okay, good. So let's break it down. What can someone do if they're new to Russian twists, for example?
So for Russian twists, beginners can start without any weight at all. Just focus on the twisting motion. You can even keep your feet on the ground for more support.
Okay, that's helpful. What about bicycle crunches? I always feel like I'm straining my neck when I do them.
Yeah, you want to be careful with your neck. If you're feeling strain, you can put your hands behind your head for support.
Right.
Just don't pull on your neck.
Okay.
And focus on slow, controlled movements, quality over quantity.
Makes sense. And what about side planks? Those can be rough on the wrists.
Oh, yeah. You can do side planks on your forearm instead of your hand to take the pressure off your wrist.
Okay.
And start with a shorter hold time and slowly increase it.
I love these tips. So glad we're covering all levels. What about people who are more advanced? How can they make things more challenging?
Well, that's where things get fun. For those who want more of a challenge, we can add weights, increase reps, decrease rest time. So for Russian twists, try holding a heavier weight or even a medicine ball.
Okay.
For bicycle crunches, try ankle weights. And for those side planks, you can lift your top leg or hold a weight in your top hand.
Intense.
Yeah.
And mountain climbers.
Oh, yeah. With those, you can bring your knee all the way to your chest.
Oh, wow.
Or even to the opposite elbow. That adds an extra core challenge.
Okay, I can't wait to try that. All right, so we've talked about modifications for everyone.
Yes.
But before we move on, can we just circle back to that initial concern about muscle loss during fasting?
Sure. It's a very important point.
Yeah.
Remember, when it comes to keeping that muscle, it's not just about what you do, but what you eat as well.
So, back to the protein again.
You got it. Protein is essential for building and repairing those muscles. Make sure you're getting enough throughout the day, especially after workouts.
And I remember the article mentioned something about timing. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Absolutely. So if you're doing intermittent fasting, you want to try to time your workouts during your eating window.
Okay.
This gives your body those nutrients it needs to recover and rebuild when it's most receptive to them.
So you're basically fueling your body at the perfect time.
Exactly.
Okay, this is all starting to make so much sense. We've covered the exercises, the science of fasting, how to keep our muscles happy, but I feel like we're just scratching the surface here.
You're absolutely right. There's so much more to explore.
Ooh, I'm excited.
And it gets really interesting as we dive into the big picture, overall health and well-being.
All right, well, let's do it.
Welcome back to our deep dive into banishing those love handles.
We've covered a lot of ground already, haven't we? From specific exercises to how fasting works.
Yeah, we have.
But I kind of want to shift gears a little bit and talk about, like, the bigger picture.
I like that. Sometimes we get so caught up in trying to target specific areas, like those love handles. Right.
That we forget to think about the overall health of our body.
Exactly. It's like trying to solve a puzzle, but we're only focused on one tiny piece.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And that's where this idea of holistic health comes in. It's about realizing that every part of our well-being is connected.
Okay.
Physical health, mental health, even emotional health.
So it's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good too.
Exactly. It's about creating a lifestyle that truly supports your mind and body.
I like that.
Yeah.
But how do we actually put this into practice? What does a holistic approach to fitness even look like?
Well, it starts with awareness. Paying attention to things like how different foods make you feel, how your body responds to exercise, even how your stress levels impact your overall well-being.
So, like being more in tune with your body.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Becoming more mindful of the choices you make and how they impact your health.
That makes sense. And, this reminds me of something we've talked about before, mindful eating. Oh, absolutely. Mindful eating is such a powerful tool for creating a healthier relationship with food. It's not about restricting yourself.
Okay.
It's about making conscious choices about what you're putting into your body.
So instead of mindlessly grabbing a snack or eating when you're bored, you're really thinking about what your body needs and how those foods make you feel.
Exactly. It's about slowing down, savoring each bite, paying attention to those hunger cues, and choosing foods that nourish your body and support your fitness goals.
I'm starting to see how this all connects. It's not about some crazy diet or depriving yourself. It's about making choices that make sense for you.
That's it. It's about finding that balance.
And, it's funny because we've been talking about the physical benefits, but there are mental and emotional benefits too, right?
Absolutely. When you make your well-being a priority, it affects everything. You might have more energy, feel happier, even have more confidence.
Like investing in yourself.
Exactly. And these benefits, they're not just temporary, they're lasting changes that can transform your relationship with your body.
Wow, that's powerful. Okay, I'm convinced. But one last question. How does mindful eating actually fit in with what we've already talked about? Like fasting and exercise, do they all work together?
They absolutely do. In fact, mindful eating can make fasting and exercise even more effective.
Really? How so?
Well, when you're practicing mindful eating, you're more aware of your body's signals.
Right.
This can make it easier to stick to your fasting schedule and avoid overeating.
Makes sense? It's like you're training your body to listen to what it needs.
Exactly. And when it comes to exercise, mindful eating can help you fuel those workouts better. You'll know which foods give you energy and help your muscles recover.
So eating, exercising, and just living mindfully, it's all connected.
Precisely. It all works together.
This has been so eye-opening. We started by talking about love handles, but now we're talking about a total transformation.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's so much more than just how we look. It's about feeling good from the inside out and living a life that makes you feel your best.
I love that. But before we get too carried away with all the feel-good stuff, let's bring it back down to earth for a second. We've talked a lot about why this is important.
Right.
But now, how do we actually do it? What are the practical steps to make this happen?
I'm glad you asked. That's a question that deserves a deeper dive. So let's get into that now, the practical stuff you can start doing today.
Okay, let's get practical. All right, so we've talked about fasting, exercise, staying hydrated, being consistent.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, but now I want to know, how do we actually do this holistic health thing? Where do we even start?
Well, it might be easier than you think.
Really?
We're not talking about, changing your whole life overnight.
Okay.
Just little by little, sustainable changes.
Small changes. Okay. But give me an example. What's one thing someone could do, right now, to get started?
One of the most powerful things is just paying attention to your body's cues.
Okay?
We talked about mindful eating,
Right.
but it goes beyond just meals.
Hmm.
How do you feel when you first wake up? Yeah.
What foods actually give you energy? What makes you feel good?
So, like, being more aware of what your body is telling you.
Exactly. And the more you pay attention, the more you'll start to see those patterns.
Okay.
Maybe you realize that a certain drink makes you crash later, or that going for a walk in nature, really helps you de-stress.
Like you become a detective for your own health.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then once you start to see those patterns, you can make some little tweaks.
Okay.
Swap out that soda for water or, add a quick walk to your day.
Stuff anyone can do.
Exactly. And as you start to feel those benefits, you'll want to keep going.
Makes sense. So progress over perfection. Okay?
Absolutely. It's
That.
about trying things out and making adjustments.
Okay, I like that. And you know what? It's also okay to ask for help.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
A personal trainer, a nutritionist, even a friend who has similar goals.
Yeah, having support can make a huge difference.
Huge. It makes it so much easier to stay on track.
I completely agree. This has been such a great conversation.
We went from love handles to a whole new way of thinking about health.
It is amazing how it all comes together.
And I think what I'm taking away from this is that it's not about following some strict rules.
Right.
It's about creating a lifestyle that just feels good.
Exactly. It's about listening to your body and making choices that work for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Well said.
So maybe you won't get rid of those love handles overnight,
That's okay.
but you'll be healthier, happier, more empowered.
Absolutely. And that's what matters.
Well said. This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
Thank you so much for all of your insights.
Of course.
I know our listeners are leaving with so much to think about.
I hope so.
So to everyone listening, remember that every step you take towards a healthier you is a win.
Yeah, keep learning.
Keep experimenting, keep believing in yourself.
I got this.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into holistic health and well-being. We'll be back next time with another fascinating topic. Until then, keep diving deep.